Hello all and welcome to hrtech.sg's demo hour edition for February 2022. Our topic for today is streamlining HR operations with automation, where we will be showcasing the demonstrations and presentation by three best-in-class providers, Time Central, Workato, and Workmate. Just a quick overview of hrtech.sg. We host what is Singapore's largest and curated marketplace of over 140 providers across 8 HR categories spread across the entire employee talent lifecycle. We are also the co-creators of the Singapore HR Tech Market Map, which features all of these providers. The market map, incidentally, is supported by IHRP, SHRI, SHRM, and Singapore Poly. We embarked on the hrtech.sg demo hour event series in 2019 to evangelize and promote use of HR technologies. So the event provides a platform for HR technology providers to showcase their high-tech solutions, thereby aiding the acceleration of adoption of HR tech. The event motto has always been only to showcase demos and not presentations. The first event happened in September 2019 at our WeWork facility in Suntec, Singapore. But unfortunately, after the onset of the pandemic, we have now moved to an on-demand webinar format. We've done demo hour events focused on various topics such as mental wellness technology, technology for managing non-PMETs. Non-PMET is a Singaporean terminology for blue-collar workers, technology for managing diversity, equity, inclusivity, and belonging. And most recently, we had how to manage a hybrid workforce with best-in-class HRMS systems. Moving to today's topic, in fact, coincidentally, we have launched an ebook which you can access from the link that will be provided in the YouTube comment section. The focus of this ebook is predominantly focused on how to drive automation in the hybrid workplace. What has clearly happened due to the pandemic is customer demands are really fluctuating. There is a huge amount of business volatility, which has driven organizations to focus on productivity in a huge way. And that's where automation can really help HR teams. While automation takes care of repetitive time-consuming tasks and drives up productivity of the HR teams can then use the freed bandwidth to focus on high-value, high-touch strategic aspects as a strategic business partner and thereby support business growth. The second key aspect is the need for business agility. We define agility as the ability to surprise your competition, and resilience is your ability to act when you are surprised by competition. So we need both agility and resilience. And organizational agility is an absolute necessity these days. According to a McKinsey research, the need for agility arises from 5 key trends. First, quickly changing environment, the VUCA environment that we talk about. Number 2, constant introduction of disruptive technology. Number 3, accelerating digitization and democratization of information. Number 4, what you call as great resignation or great hiring or the new war for talent, whichever way you look at it. And finally, changing government guidelines and regulations need you to focus on business agility. So with the context clearly set on why HR teams need to focus on adopting automation in a big way, let's move to the demos. But before that, here's a quick introduction. We have Anikta from Biotemp Time Central, Choon and Gladys from Workato, Pat and Vanessa from Workmate. And as part of our expert HR panel to witness the demos and clarify questions on behalf of the many HR professionals who will be watching this in an on-demand webinar format, we are extremely delighted to host Don Wong, a HRP senior professional, head of people and experience APAC at a global media and creative agency, VaynerMedia. Thank you for coming over, Don.
Thank you.
And we are also extremely honored and delighted to have Monica Divik Agarwal, Regional Lead, People Experience, Business Partner Manager at Funding Societies, which is Southeast Asia's largest digital financing platform for small and medium enterprises. Thank you, Monica, for coming over.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So with that, let me first hand it over to Anikta for your presentation and demonstration of the Time Central Biotemp platform. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sriram, for your introduction. And we are privileged to be here to be presenting our solution in the presence of this esteemed panel, and also to be reaching out to so many more HR specialists out there. So we are thankful to be here. And yes, without further ado, I'll just share my screen. How I will go about is just to give you a bit of a background about us as a company, our background. And it's just a very small presentation. And then from there, we'll be moving on to the demo of the software. Our parent company is called Advanced and Best Group of Company. It is under construction. We handle engineering and construction and also technology. People Central and Time Central, which we are going to talk about today, fall under the technology arm of the company. So we are based in Singapore. Our headquarters is in Singapore. I would say 80% of our employee base is based out of Singapore. And we have been actively serving our customers since past 15 years. Glad to tell you that we are growing as we speak. From a very humble beginning in construction from 2003, 2004, now we are expanding in Southeast Asia. Headquartered in Singapore, as I mentioned before, we have offices in Malaysia, India, and Philippines. So we will be expanding further because of the pandemic. It's gotten a little delayed, but we are reaching out to Southeast Asian platform. Our People Central, like you see, there are two major flagship offerings that we have. Today, we are going to talk about Time Central. So what is this Time Central? This talks about or takes care of workforce management. So this is for all the companies which are looking for hybrid workforce management, where you would want to assign flexible shifts. There's flexible working hours. There's going to be people taking attendance over mobile phone, or you may also have a biometric that is connected to your HRMS software and you would want that to be integrated. So all of that and more happens under workforce management platform, which is known as Time Central. People Central is a more holistic platform which covers a few more modules. Basically payroll. That is the most important module that People Central covers. That is one step ahead of Time Central. So modules like payroll, appraisal, training, this is mostly part of People Central as well. So that is more holistic. Time Central is more to do with the timesheet management and biometric. So having said that, without further ado, as this platform is not for mind-numbing presentations, but more for the demos, I will take you through the demo. One more, our solutions, both Time Central and People Central, are pre-approved by the government PSG. So a lot of our clients have been benefiting out of that. And if you want to have more information, of course, you can reach us on that. So we have a URL through which we log in. I'm just logging in now. So when I log in, this is the landing page that you see. So what this helps you with is to give you an idea of what is going on in the company, how many employees you have, what has been the hiring, if there's been any resignation, you see all the statistics as soon as you land in the software. So it is very to the point and more for the management view. You see what's happening. On the right-hand side, you also see the events. So if there's any employee who's on leave, birthdays coming up, there are people who are completing their probation, all of that can be seen here on the right-hand side. Below, there's a calendar. So you see the events on the calendar view as well. So the birthdays you should not miss of your employees. You can see the leave. This is the approved leave for the month. You can also see the holidays which are upcoming and also these ones, right? So this is also something which is useful, because if there's any passport expiry, work permit is expiring, and you want to be notified of that. So here, the software can send you a notification of or a reminder saying that this document is expiring and you may want to take action. On the right-hand side here, there are notifications for the same. So you may want to go into details of all the information of leave and expiry of documents and other things. So there's a detailed notification view as well. The second icon here is about pending tasks. So if you have any pending leave, pending claims, you can go here and approve. Now coming through or taking you through to the dashboards. We also have a few other dashboards which would be useful for you. So there's an employee dashboard which gives you a detailed breakup of the demography. So it shows the female to male ratio, it shows local to foreigner ratio. This is something the companies would like to know about. This is also the age group distribution, right? So you have all this information that you can see right here. The second dashboard here talks about the leaves. So if there's anybody who's taken leave, what kind of leaves have been taken? You see that in a very beautiful pictorial format so that it's very easily identified. And you can see these details down here. You can also see the leave taken for next 1 month to up to 3 months, right? And coming to the timesheet dashboard, since this is a workforce management, you would also want to know who has taken attendance. If there is people or there's employees who have been given shift, so if they've taken attendance and they have taken attendance on time or not, you see all of that information here. So when the people have taken attendance, there's a detailed list of people who have in fact taken attendance comes in here. If there's somebody who has missed to take attendance, you can see the reason. They may be on leave. So that is why there's a leave breakup here as well. And also the time breakup. So this is helpful when there's a large number of people and you want to track who has taken attendance, what has been the time lag like. So you can see all the information here. There's another interesting part here, which is temperature mapping. Although it is not compulsory anymore, but this is a feature that was being used in last year by a lot of our clients. So this is when there is a biometric, which you may use our own biometric, which is called Biotemp, or maybe some other biometric which the company is already using, and they want to link it with the software. So they want to see if there's anybody who visited the premise and had a slightly high temperature, so they can see that from here. Right, the temperature distribution is also there. So these are most of the dashboards that are useful in the Time Central format. Of course, with People Central, there's payroll and there's claim as an additional dashboard that our clients get to see. Now I'll take you through some of the modules which are going to be useful for you to know. This is where all the employee information sits. So this is where you can have all the information in one place along with their pictures. And you can just search for the employee as well. So if I just want to search for somebody, let me show you a completed profile. Right, so you have all the information here about their personal details to what kind of rights you want to give them. Maybe you don't want to give them dashboard view. So these are different kind of viewing rights that here we're talking about. Different kind of leave entitlement. So all of that is put here. And on the left-hand side, you can see there's a lot of information that can be stored for an employee. So what we try to do here is to make this quite a detailed repository for your employees. So you have all the information you need about the person in the same place. So like you can see there's job information, when did they join you, if you want to do supervisor mapping, project mapping, all of that information is here. There's leave mapping here as well, where you can see what kind of leave entitlement he has and what is the leave balance pending. So different things here. This is with the expiry date. This talks about the items issued. So in case you have allotted a laptop or a mobile phone to the employee and you want to see, all of that record is here. This is training, file uploads, all this information is here. That is for the employee. Similarly, you can keep a tab on visitors as well. There are companies where a lot of people visit on a regular basis. It could be the vendors, it could be the suppliers, and you just want to keep a track of that, of those details. So you can have that added here. So this information is all stored under this employee module. Moving forward, I'm going to talk about the scheduler, because this is another important factor of timesheet or Time Central, where you can assign different shifts to your employees. A lot of our clients who belong from F&B and manufacturing find this feature, in fact, extremely useful, because this allows you to assign roster to an employee at an individual level, to a team or a department, or to a location or a project as well. So at every level, you can assign rosters. And when the roster is assigned, the employee can view the roster on their mobile phone. And so it gives them the idea of their working hours assigned for the week. and they can take in attendance accordingly. So for example, I'll assign roster here. So this is how all the shifts look like. You can have many shifts here. You can assign this shift by a location, which is a project, employee, or even a pattern. So let me just assign and show you as an example. So for example, I want Ankita to work from say 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for all 5 days. So I can just drag and drop, and then I can resize as well. I do that. And once I click on this tick icon here, it gets published. So when it gets published, the employee gets to see that this is the shift that has been allotted to me. So this is plain and simple, very easy to assign and very easy to view as well. So let me just give you a quick view of how it looks on the mobile phone. I'll just enter into my application. So this is the mobile app, which is also part of the package. So you have a lot of things here, right? You can apply for leave, see your leave here. This is the scheduler, which then lets you see what is the shift that has been allotted. So it's 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you have all the shifts here, right? And flowing from there, you would also want to see how the person can take attendance. So if I just go to attendance, there are different modes of attendance here. There's selfie, there's face. Face is facial recognition. So I just choose the project and I check it. So it just registers face in a matter of seconds, and it identifies the location and uploads the attendance. Let me just check out now. So it says successfully checked out. So it has again noted the time of checkout, also the project and the location. Right? So now let me go back to our Time Central, and this is how the HR can see. So I have to also manage the timesheet of my employees, right? So once the attendance is taken, you can see the details of the attendance. So for example, let me show you mine. You can see for the entire audience today. Right, so if I fetch, it will update it with the latest information. Yeah. So it shows the project, it shows the date, it is very interesting. It shows the original in time, which is my check-in time in the morning. The original out time, which is my checkout time right now, which I just did at 3:24. As per the schedule that has been allotted to me, I'm supposed to work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So accordingly, it calculates my normal hours, it calculates my OT, lateness, and the time, and submits that at the end of the month or of the week, whichever way. Right? It also captures the image, and it also captures the location. So if I click on the location, it will open the GPS, and you can also override. In case the employee says that I forgot to check in, but I in fact came at 9 and I worked till 6:30, you can update as a supervisor. So we have flexibility. This is a rule-based platform which gives you flexibility and a lot of functionalities to the employee themselves to manage. Right? So if I just click on the location, so it shows me the GPS. So this is in fact my location of where I am right now. So it shows the GPS location as well. So this, without dragging this any further, just gave you a view of what Time Central is about, or major modules that a lot of our clients use, and how it can help you manage the flexibility of employees working in different locations. So this is what Time Central can help you with.
Thanks, Anikta. Thanks a lot for this demo. So just a quick question before I move to Monica and Dawn in case they have any. So are there any specific trends that you're seeing in the workforce management segment, and how is Time Central trying to address that?
That's a very interesting question, Switcha, because interesting trend. In fact, the trend that we have been seeing is just the growth of hybrid workplace now, and it looks like it is going to stay. Even after the rules are a little bit relaxing now, thankfully, because of the cases going down. But there is still a lot of demand of hybrid workforce or hybrid workplace. And we are seeing this across. We're seeing this with the SMEs and the bigger companies as well, because people have now become comfortable with this hybrid way of working. And that is where we also see that we come in as a solution provider to help companies manage this in a better way. Because there are different work hours, people are working across time zones, there are different locations that people are working from. And this is how Time Central, this is exactly where we are coming in to solve this problem. And this is an important and interesting trend that we are seeing. And I think this is here to stay.
Okay, thanks, Ankita. So just wanted to move on to Monica and Dawn in case they have any questions.
Thank you. Thanks, Anika. Thanks for the presentation. So I have a quick question in regards to the employee view. So I see that they can actually do check-in and check-out and so forth, right? So it looks like a perfectly seamless operations, how you actually bring forth and you can see the data. My questions will be more around, because these days with HR folks being super busy with a lot of this stuff that is going on, what aspect of the self-service is available in Time Central? Like, for example, is there certain fields, customization whereby employee is able to actually update themselves versus like having the HR to actually do those updating?
Sure. It's a very interesting question, Dawn, and we do hear this a lot from the HR as to how we can make this more employee-centric. And what we've done is, just to answer your question, is that we have made the software rules-based. This means that we have kept it to the employers to decide how much of a right they want to keep for the HR and how much of the rights they want to move on or give to the employee as part of decentralization. Because there are various ways, right? There are some companies who want to keep these I would say settings and the supervisory actions with the HR, but there are certain companies who would want the employee to be able to do certain things. So the software as such is rule-based. We've kept this flexible, we've kept this future-proof so that we can serve as many different combinations as possible. So we try to kind of make the software flexible in a way like that.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's great to know, because I think that is one of the key features that a lot of people probably will want to look for.
Sure. Thanks, Dawn, for the question.
Monica, do you have any questions? Thanks, Dawn, for asking.
Hey, thank you, Ankita, for the lovely presentation and demo. My question is an extension to what Dawn just asked about. So is there an option of any kind of manager self-service, especially in this whole hybrid / still work from home scenario? There are employees who are working longer hours than usual, and there is always this whole discussion around mental well-being and employees feeling the burnout. So do the managers get a prompt if their employees have been working longer hours? And are there any kind of notifications that goes to the HR as well, saying, hey, your employees are working longer than usual, and this is a red flag, and it is unhealthy, or just raising a flag around that? Yeah.
Sure. I think that's a very interesting question, Monica. Thanks for asking. Okay, so what we have at present in the system is there are two ways how we can manage this. We have kept a capping on the number of overtime hours the employee can log in, right? So that is where the employee itself gets a notification that you cannot work for more than these number of hours. So that is the first stage where the notification goes out to the employee saying that you've mapped or you've topped out your overtime, so you're not supposed to work any longer. Secondly, there is a weekly report or a daily report that can come to the HR saying that this is the actual number of hours that the employee has been working or has worked for. As to about the question about your notification to the HR when the employee has been working for longer hours, I think that's a very important point to note. If it is not there in the software right now, that can be added as one of the features to help. So I think that's a very important point you raised.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Dawn. So, and thanks, Ankita, for the answering the questions and the demo. So we'll move on to Choon and Gladys. for the presentation on Workato.
Hi everyone, I'm excited to be here today with the HR Tech community. Just a quick introduction. I'm Choon and I head people operations and systems for Workato in Asia Pacific and Japan. I think just a very quick surface of the context that we are in right now, right? When the global pandemic first hit us in 2020, a number of people I saw, was coining it as the year of HR because our teams have been expected to deliver much more than ever before, right? In the initial phase, you and me, together with our teams, would have helped both our employees and our companies adjust to remote work, including remote onboarding of new hires. And throughout the pandemic, we also had to figure out sustaining high employee engagement and welfare to ensure that employees feel connected to the company and aligned with the company's vision. This is especially important in light of the Great Resignation. And then over the last year or so, we've also started to have to bring employees back to office safely, in light of the hybrid work environment. So I come in today somewhat like a sleep expert to share how HR automations, which Workato specializes in, can help you and me, right, HR professionals, sleep better at night. So when I speak with fellow HR professionals, I realize the following 3 issues. First, attracting top talent. Second, scaling quality employee experience. And third, retaining trained employees. These are top of mind for us. And ultimately, what I realized is that a good employee onboarding experience is mission critical. And I say that because the statistics have shown us that if a new hire does not have a pleasant onboarding experience, we lose out on potential employee referrals and may also lose the new hires themselves, as they are 2 times more likely to be looking out, right? But if we spend most of our time on transactional and operational HR, we may not be able to consistently provide quality employee experience. The good news is companies have been able to use automation to enhance the employee lifecycle management. Across our customers, 35% of HR automations are in employee onboarding and offboarding, which is unsurprising given how doing this right is both a cost-saving measure in terms of reducing recruiting costs and a revenue-driving force because happy employees are also more likely to be productive at work. So today, our product demo will focus on Workbot by Workato to show you how automation can enhance employee onboarding by streamlining HR processes, scaling best-in-class employee experiences, and help you and me build and maintain our own automations with no coding required. So we'll start with the demo. So we can do this with your company's business communication platform of choice, whether this is Slack, Workplace by Facebook, or Microsoft Teams. With Workbot, you can transform how work is done by turning business communication platforms like MS Teams into one single platform for employees to access data and make decisions. HR teams can also use Workbot to create as many bots as we like to handle different functions, from employee onboarding, HR services, to recruitment and L&D. And I will demonstrate how an end-to-end employee onboarding process in HR can actually be driven entirely on MS Teams, making it faster and easier. So here we see a company's MS Teams environment interacting with the Workato Workbot, in this case called HR Bot. In this Workbot, we can review recent feedback on a candidate. The information lives in an applicant tracking system that we use like Greenhouse, but could easily be any other ATS like Workday. And using Workato's ability to integrate with Greenhouse, we're able to feed this information directly into MS Teams. And this removes the burden on us to log into a separate app to access this information. And now to create an offer, Workbot pulls in a compensation guide from a HRMS like Workday, where it leaves a compensation range for the specific role. We can then select the salary, the number of stock options, the start date, and any message we want to provide as part of the offer. Once we click confirmed over there, we're prompted to send the offer directly to the candidate via DocuSign, which is our document signing platform. So once I hit send offer, Workbot integrates MS Teams with DocuSign, and the offer is sent off through Teams. And so Workbot by Workato prioritizes safety and management of access control within bots and teams by only allowing authorized users to access this information and actions. So someone from outside HR, for example, will not be able to see these functionalities on their MS Teams account. And so now that we've sent the offer, let's see it from a candidate's perspective. Here, the candidate received an email with the offer sent, just like any offers done directly through the DocuSign platform itself. The candidate can review and sign the offer, just by completing the envelope over here. So, if we move back into Workport and MS Teams, once the offer is signed, HR receives an update and a prompt to kick off the onboarding process. So we can start provisioning all the appropriate user account and apps that our candidates will need when they start, such as Bamboo HR, Office 365, Zoom, etc. And we can also modify the workflow so that HR selects this, or we prompt their reporting manager to do so. Once that's done, we'll hit next and start equipment provisioning. Here we're creating a ServiceNow request where we can select all the equipment that this hire will need, things like laptop, office keys, monitors, iPhone, and so on. Once I hit submit again, the ticket will be sent off and we'll confirm. And then, if we want to complete the process, we can also be sending a welcome email to the new hire. We can indicate, things like the arrival time, who the office manager is, arrival day, and indicates some comments. And, once that is all done and we're satisfied with it, then we can hit submit. And what you see in a while is actually the email being automatically generated. Yep, cool. So if you click on send email, we will send it off the new hire directly. And the new hire will actually receive the email with the instructions. So this is it. We just wanted to show you a very quick demo and an example of how you can dramatically transform your employee experience with automation, and all done through a platform like MS Teams. And what you just saw was actually enterprise automation powered by Workato, where automations goes far beyond simply eliminating manual tasks. Workato takes a unified approach to bring experiences, processes, and data together using automation. And what you see on the screen here is actually our intuitive drag and drop user interface, where Workato allows users to connect the apps that they want to use easily. And once these apps are connected, we can then build the automated workflow. The actions, which are the employee onboarding processes, kick in after the trigger event is defined. In this case, right, when a new employee is entered onto Workday. And I just want to highlight that because of time constraint, this is only one example, but the sky is really the limit when it comes to HR functions that you can automate without coding. Companies in Singapore, Asia, and globally have automated recruiting processes, expense and leave management, benefits administration, HR systems maintenance, and even recently, right, in the last 2 years, COVID-19 office management with Workato. And this is what Workato is really about: powering companies and empowering employees. We received our IMDA accreditation recently, which is a mark of our best-in-class products and customer service. So if you're looking to kickstart your HR automation journey, we would love to support you. While we are a tech unicorn with a global presence, we have a team of over 180 people right here in Singapore ready to help. And we've helped HR leaders and professionals in Scoot, Slack, Grab, and SMRT sleep better at night. If our demo has piqued your interest and you're interested to take the next 3 steps to start your automation journey with us, please do get in touch with us by scanning the QR code on the screen. I think that's all the time I have. So
Thanks a lot, Choon, for that crisp presentation and sharing the possibilities of what workforce automation can actually do. So just a quick one from my end before I move on to the HR panel for asking their questions. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing in workplace automation and workforce management, and how is Workato helping in addressing those trends?
Thank you. That's a really good question. I think, as you see from my demo earlier, technologies like Workato can be extremely powerful in driving productivity. But using technology tools in a way that strikes the delicate balance between operational efficiency and human touch is critical. And when done right, we can deliver an immense impact on employee engagement and satisfaction. And this is something that many of our customers and prospects are always keeping at the back of their minds when evaluating how Workato can enable them to do so, right? I think I immediately think of one example of our customer here in Singapore, Cycle and Carriage, a very familiar household name to all of us. In Cycle and Carriage, they had a long-running employee rewards program that let employees and families visit tourist attractions in Singapore at no cost. Right, this is part of their commitment to facilitate a more balanced work-personal lifestyle and to promote family bonding. Before the pandemic, the redemption process was highly manual. It hinged on physical passes, which then involved stock taking and deliveries to employees scattered across different work locations. During the pandemic, by using Workato, they revamped the process and it enabled employees to book directly on their communication platform, which in this case was Workplace by Facebook. And Workato then runs in the background to do validation checks, pulling employee data from Workday to populate onto the digital pass. And the employee can then now download the pass directly on Workplace itself, right? And the result, that Saka and Carriage saw was increased utilization of these passes, optimization of their resources, and at the end of the day, just really happy employees, right? So I think this is, one thing that I see, and then in the retail and airline industries, like one of our customers is Khoo. They have also started bringing their HR services to communication platforms like, akin in this case, Workplace by Facebook, where employees can easily access HR services from applying for leave application to uploading swab test results, all on one workplace platform, completely on their phones. And this is important because for flight attendants and frontline retail workers, this shapes up to be a seamless employee experience, right? They no longer have to worry about finding a computer terminal or, remembering a specific app. They have to go and get things done, right? And for HR teams, we also have fewer questions to deal with, right? As the bots on these communication platforms have also been, designed to guide employees step by step through the process to get things done. So just off the top of my head, these are the two customers that came to mind, when you were asking. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for those use cases and the case studies that you shared. So probably I'll invite Monica first to ask any questions that she may have, and then Dawn later.
Sure. Thanks, Faisa. Thank you for a wonderful journey on this platform. I'm more curious, don't have a question, but more curious to know, in today's era where all organizations are so focused on enhancing the employee experience and bringing in some kind of employee delight, how would Workato help the HR teams to wow the new joiners upon onboarding? Anything that you think would be a USP?
Yeah, I think specifically with regards to this new remote work and remote onboarding process, and maybe if I share this about Workato itself, right? Since the pandemic, we have now started to just go wild, right, and recruit anyone we can find anywhere in the world. So in the US, for example, we hire them in any state we can find, no longer just limited to say California or New York and so on, right? And in Southeast Asia, we've also started to look at more countries. But the challenge then is, as some people in some new hires get to come back to a swanky office that we have in Singapore, for example, some of our remote new hires will not be able to do so. So, how do you then provide a seamless onboarding process for them? That's very important, right? And part of it is being able to give them timely information and seamless information on a very timely basis, right? So can offer letters be sent out very quickly, for example? Once they sign off on the offer letter, can you quickly follow up with a welcome message, for example, in the demo that I showed, and also then follow up with the apps and systems they need, so that on the very first day they're here, right, or on the very first day that, or before their first day, right, for remote new hires, say based in Indonesia, will they have received their laptop on time, perhaps 1 or 2 days before, and so that, on their very first day in the morning, they can switch on their laptop and join the new hire orientation session. And once the new hire orientation is finished and they're off to meet their teammates and so on, do they have all their different apps and systems set up? So these are some of the things that we've been doing from an onboarding perspective for Workato employees ourselves, and also something that we've seen what our clients have been doing to make sure that we provide a good onboarding experience, so that employees actually come in and feel like, wow, I'm ready to start work, because I was excited about the company and what it had to offer. That's why I signed off on the offer letter. And now that I'm here, I can actually get started right off the bat. So I think that's one of the things that I think would be really important. Providing a really good onboarding experience and using technology to enable us to do so. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Choon.
Thank you, Monica.
Thanks, Monica. Dawn, any questions from your end?
Yeah, I find that my questions probably is very related to what Monica's as well. We probably think very alike. Actually, my question is surrounding about, like, we talk about onboarding, right? I wanted to know, like, because of the platform itself, like, what about like preboarding, or like, for example, post-exit, the engagement and all this? Is there an interface that is for that? Because I see that is MS Teams, so technically speaking, they have to get employee to kind of utilize this, but what about like preboarding? Is that something that is, works for it? Any thoughts?
Yep, definitely. I think it depends on, so Workato is an integration platform, right? So it depends on what companies are using for their pre-boarding or post-exit systems. So we can definitely connect to those apps and systems that they're using. I've seen some companies use tools that allow new hires who have signed off on the offer letter but have yet to join, be able to start accessing some limited company information that are hosted on another platform. So we can definitely send an invite to them, make it similar so that they can check off all the things, right? And we update the checklist, for example, and then when that is done, then we onboard them to another platform easily. That could be one way, right? The other thing is if we think about pre-boarding, I think we also want to think about, hey, what is it that new hires want or need from the companies? And this is one of the feedback that we've gotten from our employees as well, right? That there's too much silence in between the time they sign off to when they join us. So if we can, for example, say on a weekly basis, prompt the managers, right, to say that, hey, check in with our new hires to see if there's anything they're thinking about, and our recruiters to say, hey, if there's any trouble that they're facing, for example, if they, if we need to do a background check, if they have any trouble trying to finish the background check, and so enabling them to feel more supported throughout this journey. And I think that's very important actually, because then when they join the company on the very first day, they have ticked through all the pre-boarding checklists, and they're actually ready to start with us without worrying about, is my background check completed? And so on and so forth. Yeah. So off the top of my head, I think that's what I would say, based on the real feedback that I've gotten from our new hires in the last few months. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Monica. And thanks, Choon Yen, for sharing the demo. I'd like to now invite Pat and Vanessa from Workmate for their demo and presentation, please.
Okay, so hello everyone, good afternoon from Thailand. My name is Pat, I'm the VP Commercial at Workmate. So before I dive into any specific details about what Workmate can offer or what are in our platform, let me give you guys a very brief introductions about our company and what we do. So Workmate is a startup. Right now we're operating in Thailand, Singapore, and Indonesia. And we raised $13 million with a current of 80 employees within 3 offices. What then, with us being a startup, you might ask, what's our North Star? What's our vision? What we want to become? Our vision stay true to become a leading provider of workforce management solution for the frontline workforce in Southeast Asia. Why is that? As you can see, we're operating in Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia. We have planned to expand to India. All of this are in Southeast Asia because we see that more than 60% of the populations in Southeast Asia are informal workers or blue-collar workers. So we see that more than half of them need our help. What we want to be is we want to bridge the organizations and the workers together. And what does that help them, right? For the worker, we want to enhance the quality of life for them. We want to better their life for them. For the organizations, we want to help the organizations to hire the workforce faster, quicker, with more quality, and ensure the reliability of those workers. Why? Because right now, what we see, there are 2 problems with the blue-collar workers market. One is the hiring, right? The organizations right now has been struggling to hire the workforce because there's the manpower workforce shortage. And also in the pandemic era, usually people would line up in front of the office or in front of the factories, right? These are the niches of the blue-collar workers. And we can't really do that right now because of the pandemic. So how can we help them with that? That's the first question. The second one is, once that we hire them, once that we recruit them, are we sure that they're going to show up to their work? most of the times, we heard from our clients that, you know what, we got the workers and they said they're going to start on Monday, but then Monday came, nothing, right? Only 50% of the worker really show up. So how do we help them with this reliability of the workers? These are the two questions that we can help organizations answer. With this being said, the Workmate technology, with the vision of, you know, being the workforce management solution for Southeast Asia, especially for blue-collar workers in Southeast Asia, we have this four features that we want to highlight. So one, we want to help organizations with hiring and onboarding. We want to help supporting the day-to-day management, you know, i.e. shift management, clock in and clock out of the workers, time and attendance management. And we want to provide visibility of cost and performance through our analytics and reporting dashboards as well. With this being said, what are our options, right? What are our features that we provide for our clients? So one is, like I said, the hiring and workforce modules. What we do, what is different is usually, like I said, the people would line up in front of the office or in front of a factory waiting for works, or they would get a referral from friends, right? All of this are growing very gradually in the pace, very gradually, because it's not very efficient. But what we do is that we offer on-demand hiring. We provide an online resume, an online platform for these blue-collar workers to be able to show themselves, present themselves. They could upload their information. We do like a nice CV or resume format for them. We provide AI and machine learning to help matching the applicants as well. Like I said, we're not only helping with the hiring, but we also help ensuring the reliability of the workers as well. And what we do by that is that our AI system would tag in first the skills based on the skills that the worker has and the requirements of the organizations. We look at the locations between the work address and the home address, because we know one of the main driver that drive retention of the workers is the distance. Because with, you know, the white collars, we might, you know, just drive like half an hour or an hour to our workplace, no problem, right? But with this nature of the blue collar workers, if they have to ride a bike or drive for 30 minutes, that's the time that they waste. In that 30 minutes, they should have earned X amount of money. And we all know that finance is one of the main factors for them. Hence the distance also is, right? Also, we provide worker insights, like work histories, locations. We even provide a skill test score, vaccination status, and also you'll be able to connect with the workers through our in-app chat. And we also have the digital contract to make it more convenient and faster for both the organizations and workers as well. Apart from hiring, we also do the day-to-day management, right? Shift management, real-time shift schedulings, leave requests, supervisor app integrations, reminder of shift. We do clocked in and clocked out as well. With the workers, they would have their own application where they can do clock in and clock out, either by QR code or doing a selfie with GPS tagging. What it helps is they don't have to do punch card or finger scan where they would be more exposed to the disease or germ in the pandemic era anymore, right? They can just do it themselves with their own phone, just click, and then that's it. And then the supervisor also would have their own application to audit and then double check the attendance and confirms as well. We do this pair integrations as well, so that it helps you to the end-to-end solution. And a part of that, I think this one, a lot of our clients really like is our functions of reporting and analytics. Because in the reporting and analytics dashboard, the management team, the HR team, or even the operations team would be able to check in the real-time analytics. They would be able to check in the costs that happened, the estimated cost, the actual cost, the performance, worker retention, worker churn, or even worker satisfaction, which is very crucial this day. And with these 4 or 5 functions that we have, we do provide 3 platforms for our stakeholders. like I said, there are workers, there are supervisors, there are management team, operations team, HR team, so many stakeholders. So we provide 3 platforms. One is the worker applications. So for the worker application available through iOS and Android, what they can do is the worker can log break, clock in, clock out by QR code, by GPS selfie scan, and all that in their own phone. The second platform we have is the supervisor application, where the supervisor can check real-time the time and attendance, clocked in and clocked out information, the timesheet information of the worker. They would be able to also look at the break, confirm the timesheet, add OT and all that as well. And the third platform is the dashboard, which actually would be the one that I would be doing demo shortly. So the dashboard is more for the management team and the HR team. They would also have a real-time visibility of the shift that has been scheduled, the payroll integrations, the clocked in and clocked out. They can even do job posts, and they can even check on the visibility of performance real-time. So without further ado, let me dive into that demo of the dashboard. Okay, so right now, so I hope you see my screen of the dashboard. So the first page, as you can see, there are several modules of functions that you can click through. There are jobs, workforce, shift, attendance, and analytics. So before I dive into the jobs and shift, let me skip it a little bit and come to the workforce page. So for the workforce page, what it does, what organizations can do is that you can invite your own worker and onboard them into the platform. You can simply just put in your locations. If you have multiple locations, you can add as many locations as you can. You can filter by position. You can input your employees' information, Mr. John Doe, and contact number. So what it does is, once that you input this information, click invite, the system will send a text message to the phone number that you input there. And then once the worker received it, they could click on the link and it would direct them to the App Store page where they can download and onboard themselves, register themselves into the applications as well. In here, you can add as many workers as you want. Or a lot of our clients say, you know what, I have hundreds of employees. I don't want to do this manually. So what you can do is that you can just send us the CSV file. We do the uploading and automate it for you. So that's one way to add a worker, to add your workers in our platform. Another way is that you can go to the job function. So essentially what the job function does is it acts as a job board, but better for you. So in here, you can post a job, and then you can choose your business location, the position. You can even add new location, any locations that you have. You can put how many workers that you need, employment type, full-time, part-time, contract. So for full-time and part-time, you can put your own start date for the employment. And then for contract, you will be prompted to put the end dates as well, because the system, once it near the end date of the contract, the system will send you a reminder of it. Also, you'll be able to put the wage, and if there's any allowance, payment frequency. So you'll be able to put that, and then in the analytics part, it would calculate your cost and performance based on this information as well. For the job details, you can put, for example, customer success associate, you can put warehouse worker, and then the job description. You can have a free text of, the expectations, qualifications, and all that. You can also narrow down for the workers who only have the experience as well. You can choose to continue, to publish, or save job. Once you post a job, you come back to this page and you will be able to see the list of the job that you have been posted. And then you can filter by, you can filter by status of the job post, position of the people that you look for, locations, employment type. And then once you clicked in here, you'll see the more information of the job post that you can put in. And then you'll see the journey, the worker journey. where how many people have applied, how many people have you shortlisted them, how many people have you interviewed them, send them offer, or how many people have accepted the job. You can filter by distance, age, gender, and vaccinations as well. And with vaccination, it's a newly features that we input because in the pandemic era, you would need that, right? And would not only get a click from the worker saying they're vaccinated, but every vaccinated workers, they would have to submit a vaccinate information or certificate so that we can have that verification process as well. Once that you click all that, you'll be able to see a list of applicants in your job post, and then you'll be able to click them. And it's more, like I said, it's like a resume of the blue collar workers where you see the photos, the score of their skill test score, their personal information. You would also be able to see the rating by past supervisors if they have been employed through Workmate before. You'll be able to see the tenures, preferred work areas, and the distance from their work locations and the home locations. As I said, the distance is one of the main factors for the informal workers. You see the automated experience through Workmate, but then the workers have the flexibility to provide their own experience and education as well. And in this page, if you like this person, if you want to interview them, if you want to chat with them, instead of calling them one by one, you can just chat with them in the system on the platform. Same goes with everyone. You can put a chat here to have a one-on-one chat, or you can click chat here and then invite as many workers or applicants as you want and conduct like a group chat for an announcement. And like I said, you'll be able, reliability is a really crucial part. So you would be able to sort the candidates by reliabilities or the time that they have applied as well. And then you'll be able to input and add schedules for your shift. You can add locations, position, the title of the shift, start date and time, how many people that you want, and what's the clock-in method. If you want the clock-in method to tag the GPS data as well, that the worker must clock in at location, you can opt that option in as well. And what it does, if the worker clocked in outside of the work radius, then once the timesheet has been created, it would flag the dispute timesheet saying this one has been clocked in outside of the location. So the supervisors or the HR team can flag accordingly. So that's the shift, and this is the attendance information where you can see the timesheet and overtime. And also what I think is the interesting part is the analytics part, where you can see the cost, the estimated cost that occurred by locations, by positions, or by the date and by the week and month. And you'll be able to see the average cost by worker. You'll be able to opt in and out of the data, the fulfillment rate, the fulfillment funnel, what's the gap, where exactly did it missing. And also you'll be able to see the performance of the worker shown reasons, or the worker satisfaction and negative feedback reasons. And all of that would really help not only the management team to get a better view of the workers, but also it gives the workers a better stage or opportunity to express their feedbacks as well. And that's Workmate.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Pat and Vanessa. So just one quick question. In the workforce management space, what are the trends that you're seeing, and how is Workmate equipped to cater to these trends?
So what we see as the trend is, like I said, the reliability of the workers. So how to manage them. The informal workers or blue collar workers is quite different from the white collar, where if we sign the contract, we would of course come to work and then we would stay on until we resign. But with the blue collar workers, they're not like that, right? Even though sometimes they commit, but I don't feel like coming, or I find a job that is better, 5 minutes before my commitment, I would just jump into a better option. So that is the reliability bit that we're trying and help the clients to figure out by this AI and automation.
Okay, very nice. Thanks a lot, Pat. So just wanted to check with Dawn if Dawn has any questions for Pat.
Yep, thank you. Thanks, Pat. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Just probably a question to clarify as well. So in a sense that when the blue collar workers to apply for the job itself, so this pool of blue collar workers are already an existing profile in the system. Is that right? What if there are like new profiles, like new blue collar worker that actually wanted to apply for roles? Where do they actually see it to apply for it, for example?
Okay, so we actually so yes, we have a pool of candidates, but we also onboarding always new candidates as well, and this driven by our recruitment team, our operations team, that constantly find and look for more blue collar workers that are looking for job, and also it's marketing driven. So there are two teams that are driving the applicants in.
Okay, so that means you are streaming in the pools of profiles. Okay, so that is a separate team.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And maybe just a follow-up question also in terms of like the reporting that you mentioned, how customizable it is if you wanted to create like different forms of reports, or so far it's more to like standardized reports that you have shown.
Yeah, so right now it's standardized because these are the data points that we found that are most valuable for the clients, which is the fulfillment rate, the cost, and the satisfactions, of course. But if the clients request any specific information that we think it would benefit the clients and the clients across many industries or many clients, we are more than happy to discuss as well.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn. Monica, any questions?
Sure. Just one question, Pat. Thanks for that wonderful demonstration. I'm trying to understand about feature where not all blue collars will always have English as their first language. So is there an option that there are regional languages available for at least the workers module so that they can read and understand and apply for the jobs?
Yes, absolutely. So the literacy, the language is a big thing. So we have, our platform have English, Bahasa, and Thai as the local language. And once we expand to other countries, you'll be sure that we add the local language in.
Right, yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Dawn. And thanks, Pat, Vanessa, for the presentations. Thanks, everybody. So just wanted to wrap this up. Wonderful presentations by all of you. Workforce management is actually becoming a really important topic, growing trend these days. So these demos are really, really helpful in, managing that. So on behalf of HRTech.sg, I would like to thank all our partners and our HR panelists, Dawn and Monica, for coming in and sharing your insights, sharing your thoughts here. If you would like to see more of such demo hour sessions, do drop us a line at info@hrtech.sg for any particular topics or particular use cases that you would like to see demos of. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.